Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Lady Nika in with another episode review. This time we're talking Queen Sugar Season 5, Episode 3. It's entitled Late April. And I want to thank you guys. Like I said last week, I don't expect my views to be too high on here. But whatever I get, I appreciate because I'm truly doing this review for me more than I am you guys. But I'm glad you guys have acclimated to it. And, some of y'all really come through on the reviews and show support. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of my viewers who do watch my Queen Sugar reviews and those of you who even have shared it. I didn't realize some people were actually sharing it. So thank you so much for the support. But I ain't gonna hold you long because last night wasn't a whole lot. I tried to get the review out right after the show, but last night and today I had my grandson, and y'all know what it's like when you got kids, child. It's you got to be on the job, honey. You got to be on the job with the baby. So I was able to watch it this morning, and here I am to give you the review for Queen Sugar. Also, it was something else I wanted to tell y'all. I can't remember what the hell it is. It's something I meant to tell y'all. Oh, we will be checking out Delilah. And also, I need y'all to give me some Netflix shows that you guys are watching and you would like to discuss. Don't tell me about stuff you watching that you ain't going to come watch if I review it. Only the things that will... Only the shows that y'all know that y'all really gonna engage with me if I come live and do that. So I need you guys to drop it in the panic section. That's the comment section. Since y'all don't have a live chat to do it in, put it in the panic and I will check it out. Somebody already told me something about Behind Her Eyes, so I'll be checking that out this weekend as well. Oh, I know what I'm gonna tell y'all. Remember I told y'all that I had the retro reviews for Dynasty circa 1981. Girl, how about all three? One of them is the file corrupt, and the second one, I think that the file, something happened. It's still processing on YouTube. It's been sitting and processing for 2 days now, and I have no clue as to how to get it out of there. The only thing I could think to do is to delete it and start all over. And considering I don't have time to set aside this week to do it, it may be pushed back to the weekend. I told y'all I got some stories, about the world outside your windows coming and all of that. So I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I just want y'all to know that I did lie about the retro reviews. They ain't up because one of them is, they said the file was corrupt. And the other one is sitting up here stuck in processing on YouTube. And I don't know what to do other than to go ahead and delete it. And that means I have to re-record it all over again. And time is of essence this week for me. So I probably won't get it out to you guys until probably the weekend. But it's coming, okay? Now, let's talk about this episode of Queen Sugar. We open up. Full C-19 is in effect. Ralph Angel is in there listening to reports of how it has spread throughout Louisiana, how it's affecting the farmers and their crops. He then started calling some of his workers, saying that he hopes to be able to return them all to work on the next harvest. And he even spoke to one guy, this dude named Chris, and he either said he tested positive or somebody they know tested positive. So C-19, that was the beginning. And it's so funny because I remember I don't remember what they doing. They incorporating a story, but that's exactly how things started to slowly trickle down from up north where we were first hearing about the big reports and how it was when it made it to us down here in Louisiana. Now, we all know how this virus has affected us all in some way. But, I didn't think of the fact that it truly had to farmers. I really didn't. with your production, with production shutting down and some losing crop, of course, the quarantine meant no workers to help harvest the land, so wasted crop. It truly was a devastation to the nation, and it still is if you really look at it. But it's hard to believe that in a matter of a few days, this country would have been under this quarantine for almost a year. Mm. Next, we see Nova and Calvin. They seem to be good after the birthday debacle, with the ex-wife showing up being a hater. They are also now quarantined and happy together, and they grateful. They grateful for what they have and for the fact that they have each other, because some people are not doing so well already. By in Hollywood was packing up to-go meals, of course. The restaurant is closed. Folks having to adapt to the new normal. Vi said that she felt like it's a test to see what people are truly made of. Can they truly have each other's back in this pandemic? Hollywood called his mama, and she not opening the door for a package that he sent for her. She said she gonna wait that full 2 weeks. She not gonna open up her door and go out there and possibly kiss that wrong. She wasn't doing it. So next we move to Charlie, who is on Skype with the other members of the city council, and they are now weeks into this quarantine. Hospitals are filling up so fast. Funding is not available. They just need help. It's the time and the land is what I got out of it. They're trying to figure out what they will do, and they're hoping that folks just adhere to the stay-at-home policy, and they are also waiting on federal funding for the elderly and the unemployed. Now, half of the businesses are closed, some are not. Jackson, that city councilman that always giving Charlie a hard time, he mentioned that he rolled past Vi's place and it was open. And she let him know Vi is simply making care packages for people, opposed to throwing away what would have been good food. She's making care packages and they're delivering it out to the people of St. Joe. However, she is gonna have to go talk to her, because non-essential businesses only are all that's supposed to be open. Now, Nova and Calvin, we see them out in the community, masked down, delivering supplies to residents, like hand sanitizers, masks, food, whatever. They dropping it on the porches. It's all contactless deliveries, and they doing it throughout the community. We see Darla at the back at the farm with Ralph Angel. She done been out. She done got all the things that she thought they need and things that would tide them over during this quarantine, because they don't know yet how long they'll be there. And she's talking about what many of us experienced when we were given stay-at-home orders. Many of us ran out to our local stores and Walmarts and whatnot, and Charlie wasn't nothing on the shelf. But we got what we could, because I'm sure each of you, like myself, who went out there and bought up a lot of stuff, you found that stuff really did come in handy. Even the things you thought wasn't going to be handy came in handy, okay? So it's a mess. They begin to talk about the mess of everything that's going on. Kids having to stay at school, having to stay home and try to homeschool. They out there on that farm where it ain't the best of internet, so that's a challenge for them. Ralph Angel say he had to let some people go. Banks not giving out loans right now, and he hasn't made much, in crop due to the virus. But he optimistic next year, the land will not let us down and we will be able to come back strong. Now, Darla suggested asking Charlie for some help. you know, to carry them over. And he's adamant that he'll go out and find work, but he's not going to run to her. He is not going to depend on his sister to carry his family for him. Darla said her job is closed for a few weeks, but she still got a paycheck, and that'll help. Charlie is talking to Bai about making sure that she's going to be sending these care packages out, and it must remain within the guidelines set forth by the state of Louisiana, meaning contactless deliveries, because the city council is monitoring all of the businesses. Bai is upset and say the state is not helping with small business loans. They have stopped taking applications. And according to her, she is robbing Peter to pay Paul, which kind of made me wonder, like, really? Didn't Hollywood just win this big lawsuit, was a part of it, and he got this big money? Now, grant you, they did buy businesses and they did have a nice wedding and honeymoon and whatnot. But then again, on the flip side of that coin, if you got money started going out and nothing coming in, it can deplete quickly. So I get where she coming from with that, okay? Charlie is warning that the health inspector is going around and he is shutting folks down, and she don't want Bai to get caught up in all of that. So she appreciate what she's doing, but she's wondering quarantine actually lasts. Charlie then moves on to tell her that Mike is coming home later that night. And he tried to stick it out in his dorm, but he's coming home. And Bai warned her, she said, now, he an adult now. He's an adult who has lived on his own for some time now. So just kind of like, y'all make sure y'all don't bump heads or nothing. Respect his boundaries and he'll respect yours as well. Because she remember when Nova came home from school and her and Ernest fought all the time. She said she got that. That ain't going to be their situation. Then we see Mr. Prosper home. He's stuck in his house and he's listening to the news about what's going on. And Nova come through with a care package. And you could tell Mr. Prosper not himself. At first I was like, oh my God, I know Prosper ain't sick. Because he had that mask over his face. He wouldn't even let her get close to him. And he was kind of rushing her out of his house. He was kind of rude to her. And she didn't take offense to it. But it made me nervous for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's sitting there. He's supposed to be a man of a particular age. And he don't feel useful. And he's watching TV all day. And y'all know when this first started, every day, all they talked about was how the hospital was filling up. Ventilators were, there was a shortage of ventilators and morgues were overfilling. I mean, he's sitting out and taking that all day. Now, y'all notice he did keep that mask up to his face. That means he is very, very scared. And he rushed her off. And at first I was like, now look, I know damn well y'all not finna try to play me like that because y'all killed out Bishop Greenleaf and I'm still trying to recover from that. Don't play with me when it come to Prosper. Now, I know we're not going to kill Prosper to the C-19. Please don't do that. But that's a warning just in case, child. Just put that in your spirit and prepare yourselves accordingly, okay? Now, Darla is overseeing Blue doing his lesson, but she got to get ready to go to her Skype or whatever that is with her job to find out where they go from here. And he didn't really want her to go because he felt like she was like moral support. This is a big adjustment. Many of y'all suffer with that right now, still trying to get your kids adjusted to this new normal. Some kids have been able to go back into the classroom, but a vast majority of kids are still being homeschooled, and that can be very challenging. Because also, not only do kids get basic, education, but they also build their social skills. And it's kind of hard to do when they can't interact with one another unless they on the internet. They can't get together, and people need people is what I'm basically saying. And these people are showing you how many of us how many of us had to adapt and the challenges we faced trying to adapt. Okay. Ralph Angel took over as more support to allow her to be able to go do what she needed to do. Then we see Hollywood FaceTiming his mother. They talking about the correct way to make bourbon chicken. And then there she started talking about her card games that she do online with her friends. And she had this cough. And when she started coughing, I got nervous. And you could tell the look in his face, he got nervous too. But she was like, this just the old, cough, probably do cold. Everything ain't C19. But you can tell he's concerned. When Charlie arrives at home, Micah has now arrived. She welcomed him. She said, first off, I'm going to be respectful of boundaries. We're going to respect each other to avoid any problems. Now, he wanted to go for a drive and to visit some friends, and she tells him we are under a strict stay-at-home policy. We can't go, I thought you understood that you can't go out and about and mingle with people. I know it's kind of hard, but you're just going to have to wait to see Kiki and your friends. And that's when we learned that him and Kiki ain't together no more. According to what he said, Kiki broke up with him for another dude. Now, I was wondering, was it the smoothie dude from last week? I wonder. But anyway, he act like he all right with it. She kind of concerned, but again, she's not going to push the envelope because they supposed to be respecting what? Each other's space. Now, Darla found out that she's going to be laid off because several people at her job tested positive for the Rona. They're going to be shut down and they will still get paid. She still got a paycheck to look forward to. But after that, they will be on furlough status, meaning that they will still be considered an employee and they will still be eligible for all of the benefits, but there is no check that's going to be coming. And baby, I understood her pain because that very same thing happened to me. Thank God the unemployment kicked in, but baby, there was some weeks that I did not know what was going to happen with my situation. And thank God, I was damn near basket case right here. Y'all just didn't know it. But thank God I sowed so many good seeds into this world that I made it through, and I still make it through today, even though my job has not opened up for us to go back. So, I survived it. And I know that you guys are going to survive it that are still in the middle of a furlough situation as well. We are resilient people, and this too shall pass. Now, Ralph ain't just talking with this man that came to see him because he has to sell a tractor. Dude didn't want to pay the price that Ralph Angel was asking for, and they wind up negotiating. And the man told him, I'm not trying to beat you, but that's all I got. So see, hard times is starting to happen with these people. And he accepted it. He took the money that was offered, the price that they agreed upon. Wasn't quite what he wanted, but it wasn't really low budget either. And even after doing that, it still wasn't enough to offset bills. He's going to have to go look for a job. Darla said that she's going to have to go look for a job as well, possibly in a convalescent home, but that's kind of risky. And Ralph Angel was like, well, in 2020, what's not risky? So life is starting to change a lot for them. They're starting to have to get in line to survive, okay? Noah was meditating, praying for Prosper when Calvin came in. She thinks that he's beginning to feel despair because what was supposed to be a 2-week quarantine has now become a 6-week. And he's stuck in his home. And when she went to take him his care package, he was sitting before the TV watching all of the bad stuff that was happening up in New York City, from the overflowing morgues to the need for more essential workers, hospitals at their capacity, etc. Staying home all alone with nobody to talk to got to be a lot on him. And that's why she worried about him and other people who are in situations much like Mr. Prosper. Okay. Calvin even admitted his kids are having a hard time under this stay-at-home order. They can't go to school. They can't really interact with friends unless it's on the internet. And it's taking its toll on people, as we all know that it did. Now, Hollywood is calling his mother and no answer. So he called one of her friends, one Miss Florence, and she said she hadn't heard from his mama, but she'll go by there and check on her because he worried. We saw Ralph Angel go for a custodial job. And at the interview, the lady explained what the job requires and how they are very meticulous about being there for their. It's a nursing home, child. They about their business. She don't want nobody that's gonna come in that just applying for this job because they need to offset some income. And she seeing his resume, she know he a farmer, but he had to tell her. He said, "Ma'am, let me tell you something. My father is Ernest Borderline, and yes, he was a farmer, but he also swept floors, and he took pride in everything that he did." He told her, "I'm here. Yes, my finances is kind of messed up. But understand, ma'am, I'm here by choice." He said he gave her the story about his dad and how he swept floors and he understand what this is. He also told her, "I'm a boss just like you. I get this. I'm here to be the solution to the problems that you have. I'm here to make sure what you need done is done to the best of my ability. And everything I do with pride." And she was so impressed. She told him, "Can you start Monday?" And he said yes. Now, Hollywood still hadn't heard from his mama, nor Prosper. The neighbor stopped by and said that his mother said she was good. She was a little lethargic, but she was okay. Vi saw the concern still in his face and told him, "Well, maybe it's time you take a little trip up to Baton Rouge and just, put eyes on her. That'll make you feel better." And he said, "Okay, you know what? I think I'll head out first thing in the morning. But before I go, I'm going to check on Prosper too because he ain't answering his phone." Then we saw Mr. Prosper. Mr. Prosper ain't answering no phones. He is totally saturated in looking at that TV. And their TV ain't giving him nothing but bad news. So it was then at that moment I stopped thinking so much that he was sick, but he was beginning to go into what Nova said, despair. And when she called, he finally answered the phone. He thought it was Hollywood, but it was her. And she was checking on him, and he apologized for how rude he was. And she told him, "Don't even worry about that. I understand." And then she said, "I might need a quote from you for True Papers because I'm going to be doing this piece about trying to possibly get the homeless off the street during this stay-at-home quarantine and into some hotels. And I would love your help in that." And you could see he brightened up some because now he's got a purpose. Now he don't feel so useless. He don't feel like he's sitting at home waiting on death to become him. And that was good. Lastly, we saw Ralph Angel heading out for work. Now, Darla is at home sewing. I don't know what she got under her sleeve, but she's trying to do her part too to help, in this situation. Like I said, that really was all that happened. We had a moment where Charlie came into the room to see if Micah needed anything because she was going out. He was on the phone with one of his girlfriends, one of the new ones. And old girl obviously was a fan of his mother, had seen her before, in magazines and whatnot. So she was a little starstruck. Charlie spoke to her and she just went completely crazy. That same thing happened to me before. One of my son's friends found out I did YouTube about 2 years ago, and he had like I was a star. I was like, "Girl, boy," but it was cute. That was it, y'all. That's basically what happened on this episode of Queen Sugar. It's interesting to see how they're looping this real life, real time situation into this show. That's part of what I like about it. Plus, it reminds me of home because it is home. This show is out of Louisiana. I'm right here in Louisiana, and a lot of things that they talk about, some of the scenery I've seen before, it's just This is one of my faves, y'all. It's one of my faves. So like I said, I do this because I truly enjoy talking about it with you. For those who want to interact with me in the panel section, but I do this also because it's just it's good. It's a breakaway from everything, and it's something familiar to me. But that was it. That was all on this episode of Queen Sugar. Remember, in closing, as always, you do not have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great. And the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember on your way out to thumbs up this video. If you have share capability, please share the video around if you don't mind. And I will see you guys back down here on the pre-recorded side of YouTube with a story from the world about the world outside your window. We're going to talk about how Texas is about to return back to full capacity and end their mask mandate, and my thoughts and opinions on that. Do I think that it's too soon, or do I think they're doing it in the time to which it should be happening? Check it out on the next video. I'll see you guys next week for another episode review of Queen Sugar. Have a great remainder to your day. I plan on doing the same, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh, and no, I ain't going live today, so nobody got to put it in the pan. I'm not going live today. I have nothing live to talk about. I may be over at Cocktails and Conversations if I can get my grandson to sleep with Lex Mack and Ty Harrell, but if I'm not over there, that's because I'm taking care of the grand. But I won't be back live down here until Friday. So you guys have a good weekend. A good remainder to your week. And we'll be talking shit and swallowing spit again on Friday on the live thing. Peace.